Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And coming up here in just about 6-7 minutes, we start Case's movie review for Friday, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. He watched The Terminator last week, and now he watched T2. And looking forward to it coming up here in a minute to see if he liked it, hated it, whatever, because he's never seen it. In case you're new to the show, that's why he does this on Fridays.
That's right. 1 year ago next week is when we started doing these movie reviews with Braveheart. I've watched 45 movies in the last year, Terminator 2 being the 45th. I feel like a new man.
Well, movies do that to you.
Movies, as it turns out, are pretty good.
Yeah, doing something everybody else does is not a bad thing.
You don't have to hate everything that's life.
I don't hate everything. I haven't experienced most things in life. Movies being one of those things up until last year. Turns out movies are great.
Yeah, you were in the live music, hardcore shows, and sports, and that was really it.
Yeah.
So that's coming up in a second. First, this was a monumental, historic week for the Chicagoland area with Tiffany Henyard in the primary election in Dalton. She got destroyed, and she will not be can't run for mayor in April of the city of Dalton. And we had WGN TV's Ben Bradley, who we, for the last almost 2 years, have followed his lead on investigating the corruption down there, and the FBI is still investigating. In fact, we talked to him earlier this week when it all happened on Tuesday, and talked about that FBI investigation. She's no longer mayor, or at least she's mayor until the next person comes in. And the FBI has been investigating for quite some time, and why that hasn't advanced. I mean, it seems like kind of obvious there's some corruption down there.
If anyone has insight into how the FBI operates, I would love to know, because they serve subpoenas in both of the governments that Tiffany Henyard runs, so Dalton and Thornton Township, which, you may have never heard of it, but it's the largest township in the state of Illinois, and it covers, nearly a dozen south suburbs. The FBI served those subpoenas more than 7 months ago. I know for a fact that, people who we have profiled who have said that they've been victims of corruption or retaliation under Tiffany Henyard's watch have told us that after the story aired on WGN, the next day they got a call or a visit from the FBI.
Wow.
So I know that the FBI is actively investigating this. What I can't tell you is why it takes so long.
I know the trials, they want to make sure they got everything right, but I mean, trips to Vegas, trips to Times Square.
Ice rink.
The ice rink that was built that no one could use.
Look how long Diddy's case is taking.
I know. Are they too busy with that, you think?
They're slammed. The FBI is so busy.
Well, at least with Diddy, there have been charges that have been filed.
He's in jail.
Yeah, he's awaiting trial. Tiffany Henyard, but I say this all the time, it's a lot like in The Sopranos, which is over. You can all move on and find a new show. But in The Sopranos, they didn't want to ding Tony Soprano for a traffic ticket. That's not the thing that they wanted to take him down. They wanted to make sure that they had the racketeering charges in order the way that they should be so that they could punish him to the maximum degree. Tiffany Henyard, look, a lot of dominoes have fallen. I'm a little surprised she's not currently in handcuffs, but I am going to play the long game here and wait and hope that we eventually just nail her with the exact right charge at the right time.
But it's kind of great, the bright side to being a criminal like this is that you can, just speed a lot and stuff because they don't want, that's not what they want to, ding you for. So you kind of get to, do all this petty theft and stuff at the same time because they don't care about it. So she should really take advantage. She should be getting everywhere super on time, if not early.
I wonder what are some other good petty crimes you can get away with, you want to get away with.
Well, what are your favorite petty crimes?
Littering.
That's horrible.
I'd rather be friends with a murderer than a litterer.
Yeah, you're sick. You're sick.
You?
I see you guys leave the building and throw your Snickers wrapper on the street.
Never.
I've seen you do it.
You know that I have an extra stack because I go out of my way at the end of the week to recycle. On top of it, we don't have recycling really available near us. I care a lot about that.
There's those big blue garbage cans you can throw stuff in.
But they're not near us. I don't just throw so I stack everything and then I walk, like a block to the nearest one.
You're a saint for that, Kenzie.
Yeah, because I care. I don't litter. How dare you,
littering?
Brian?
Oh my God.
I'm not saying.
Sick.
Listen, I'm not saying do it. I'm not saying I like it. I was coming up with a list of crimes that might
You
be
said-
fun to
we
do.
said
If you're
what
going to
you're-
jail for stealing $1 million, maybe I'll throw some papers out the window of my car and see what happens. Just see what happens.
Unbelievable.
We said, what's your favorite petty crime? And you said littering.
If I can get away with it.
What are you, Scooby-Doo? I would have got away with littering, too, if it was for you kids.
Pulled that rubber mask off. These damn kids. It's old man Potter.
They caught me littering.
More with Ben Bradley before we leave it is how he talked about going to Tiffany Henyard's election party, which, of course, she had gotten destroyed in the primary election. But Ben Bradley, who'd been after her for years, had doors slammed in his face, actually got invited, or at least he was there.
I went to Tiffany Henyard's quote-unquote election party last night. A, I was shocked they let me in. B, it was probably because there were only 10 people there and Henyard herself didn't show up.
Wow.
As I said to somebody as I was leaving last night, a longtime Henyard supporter, I said, I hope you don't see my face down in Dalton for a long time. And they laughed and said, me too. Hey, and I do have to say, to Tiffany Henyard's credit, the mayor got on the phone with me last night. So after she didn't show up at her party, she got on the phone with me and we talked for a bit. She said, don't count her out, but she said she got the message from voters.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Put the needle on the record when the drum beats go like this.
Now, it's your chance to win a trip to see Dark Matter at the Pearl Jam Dark Matter Tour 2025 in Nashville, Tennessee. Standard text and data rates apply. Please don't text and drive.
Q 101.
What a magnificent trip this is to Nashville to see Pearl Jam. It doesn't get any better. Great city, great band. One winner and a guest going to Nashville. If you just text the national keyword, strangers, that's STRANGERS to 95819. It's a contest text line. So 95819. It's got to go to that one. If it goes to our other number, it's not going to be entered. So 95819, text strangers right now for your chance to get tickets to the show in Nashville and Dark Matter Lounge VIP passes. But you also get, we got to get you there, round trip air, 2-night stay, Pearl Jam merch, Record Store Day vinyl, and tickets to the show. Text strangers to 95819. What a wild story we have coming up here in 3 minutes. A girlfriend locked her boyfriend somewhere after a fight, and he wasn't found for 4 days. 4 days, Kenzie.
What did he do? I don't mean to victim blame, but I'm just saying, there's no way.
Kenzie, he was locked in a storage locker. Are you worried about that, what he did?
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, it's not right to do that no matter what. It's not right to do that. But, that
doesn't
had to
sound
be a
like you
big
think that.
fight. No, but that just had to be a big, you didn't fight about dishes and then lock him somewhere for 4 days, right? Something horrible had to have happened to do something horrible, I would think.
Maybe it was dishes. We'll give you the whole story here in 3 minutes with Brian and Kenzie on Q101, including the 911 call from the guy trying to get out of the storage locker. It's all coming up in 3 minutes. Brian and Kenzie, Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. It's one for Head to Headlines, which we do every Wednesday at 8:20. So I just explained a minute ago that a man called 911 said his girlfriend locked him in a storage unit for a week after an argument. Kenzie's first thought when I just give that headline is, well, he must have done something.
Okay, Juan texted it, and he said right away, Kenzie, what did he do? Straight up Latino.
Clearly, straight up Latina girl right there. What'd he do?
I'm sorry. I just meant oh my God, she was so mad. What happened? It's not the right reaction. That's not what I meant. I'm just saying he really pissed her off. That's crazy.
I had to run to the other room for a second, and all I heard when I came back was Kenzie going, well, not to victim blame, but I go, oh, God, what I missed.
But a message if Kenzie's husband happens to be listening, get rid of the storage locker in your backyard immediately. So here it is. Why don't we just play the 911 call first? The guy, it took him, so he was in there 4 days, locked in there with no food or water, and he couldn't find his phone in the storage locker because I guess he had it on him, but it fell off somewhere when she shoved him in there. And he then finally found it and made this call to 911.
911, where's your emergency?
I've been locked in the storage unit for about a week now, and I just now found my phone.
A girlfriend has outstanding warrants for attempted murder and for kidnapping. No food, no water. Elements, like I said, if we had been in the heat of the summer or the super cold of the winter, this would be a whole different story.
Terrifying. It's a terrifying story. Just listen to it again, the first thing he says.
911, where's your emergency?
I've been locked in the storage unit for about a week now, and I just now found my phone.
A girlfriend.
Just now found the phone. Now, apparently they were, maybe him or both were hoarders. So this storage locker was just jammed with tons, like me. My office room is all those totes. If it was pitch black in there and my phone fell out of my pocket, I wouldn't find it for 4 days either.
Well, he sounds like Cletus from The Simpsons.
Let me see again. Real quick.
Where's your emergency?
I've been locked in the storage unit for about a week now, and I just now found my phone.
That's the redneck from The Simpsons.
I was thinking King of the Hill a little bit. But yeah.
I have to say, that phone battery is out of control.
No kidding.
Because I would be like, I got 30 minutes to find this phone or we are doomed. My phone's plugged in like all day.
Yeah, and even if he's not using it, 4 days on the battery just on itself.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a good phone. So,
and was his sound turned off? He didn't get a call or text for 4 days? He couldn't find it?
That's true, too. Good point.
That's a bad look for him if nobody's texting him for 4 days.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's like, where you at?
Well, I'm arguing
Not
about.
once?
I'm upset that no one called Gene Hackman for 2 weeks, him laying in the house. This guy didn't get one for 4 days either.
That's brutal.
What's going on?
So here's what happened. Apparently, investigators, the couple got into an argument. It doesn't say it was over dishes or cheating. Somewhere in that realm, an argument.
I want to know. It's not okay because somebody texted in and is like, that's not right. I'm totally aware it wasn't the right thing to do. I'm just saying she was obviously really angry to leave somebody there for 4 days. Like, that's insane. I just want to know what happened.
It's Kenzie's soul sister, this is.
That's not true. Son of a bitch.
Sorry about Kenzie. I haven't heard from her husband in a minute.
Hey, he's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't call him either.
Is he fine?
He's fine.
Okay. So they got into some kind of argument. And after that, this would be a lesson for everybody out there. Once you get in an argument, don't do this. She told him to go get something out of the back of the storage unit, the back of it, which they're already hoarders. So the thing is packed with stuff. So if you get in an argument, I guess the thing is to do is leave and everybody calm down and then come back home. Don't go to the storage unit. Because once he got in there, he had to crawl through the stuff. It shows how much this thing was stuffed with things, this hoarders, like me. And then she slammed the door and shouted, now, Kenzie, this might relate to what you're thinking. This is what you get.
Damn.
And locked it and never went back. He was in there from Thursday the 20th to Monday, which is 4 full days. Officials say they truly believe she intended for him to die in there. The unit was described as a, quote, hoarder's paradise, stuffed with things when the police got there to open it after the call, stuff started falling out of it. So imagine how cramped he was in this storage locker with all this stuff in it.
I have to be honest, I imagined a completely empty storage locker when I pictured this, so he could just walk around the room, wait till he kicks something, like and his phone would go flying. I can't imagine like full of stuff and you couldn't see. Also, why did somebody texted in if it was an iPhone? Why not say, "Hey Siri"?
Oh, not bad.
Well, I don't have my Siri set up. I couldn't do that on my phone.
Oh,
Well, maybe if you get locked in a storage locker, you're gonna wish you set that thing up.
Maybe, but I don't trust it. I don't like Siri.
Wait, can't anybody just say that and it asks the phone answers you?
I don't have any Siri stuff set up on my phone. I always bypass it when I set up the new phone.
Yeah, but so I must have it on because my Siri talks to me like half the day when I just bring up stupid things.
Did she take his phone and just throw it in a different part of the locker?
I think when he was going back and crawling in, it must have fell out of his pocket or something. Or he just said he lost his phone in there and he spent days trying to find it in the darkness in a, quote, hoarder's paradise storage unit.
No, thank you.
No, thank you indeed.
Somebody just said I was probably his emergency contact because I don't answer.
Bingo. Kenzie's pushing him the voicemail for 4 days.
Like, oh my God, take the hint, bro. I'm busy.
This poor guy. And I saw this story this morning, and it was like 4 a.m. when I read this story. And I said, well, you can't live a day without water. That's
yes,
what
you can. A day?
Without water?
I've heard that you can live a month without food and 1 day. You can't live a day without water.
I don't believe either of those things are true.
I think you're way off. I bet you could do at least a week without water. It doesn't mean you'd feel good, but you could at least go a week.
I don't know. What's it? Well, we can
1 day, Brian? Do you think you'd die? You mean dead people would there would be because of no water?
Everybody drinks water every day.
No, that's not true. I hate drinking water.
Oh, that
But
tracks.
there is kind of water in everything. Like there's actually water in soda, little bits of it. Like I know you only drink like Mountain Dew, but there's a tiny bit of water in it.
Yeah, because I haven't had a bottle of water or a glass of water. I mean, I haven't had a glass of water in 6 or 7 days.
Oh,
I
why?
thought you were years. I swear to God.
Wait, you haven't had a glass of water in 6 or 7 days?
Water sucks. I hate drinking water.
Oh, my
it's
God.
so gross. I don't like the way water tastes.
You need water.
Yeah, I get it through soda.
But that's not the water you need. It has other stuff in it.
Okay, explain to me the different types of water.
Get a Brita or get bottled water.
Get a Brita? What am I, a Rockefeller? Good Lord.
I'll buy you one.
I don't have that kind of disposable income.
Okay, for your next birthday, I'm buying you a Brita.
Well, that's 11 months from now.
Good luck. So I just went to AI. A person can generally survive without water for about 3 days. I thought it was a day. But it can depend on different factors like age or whatever, environment. And all. This guy was in a storage locker with other crap all around. I would think it'd be less. But he did live, and he didn't sound too bad in the 911 call. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
So no food, too. What's worse, no water or no food?
I mean, you think you'd die after like 3 hours without food, right? That you can last 4 hours without a snack. And
I can't. You're right. I'd be like, oh, my God, I'm hungry. My stomach's growling.
I think you'd break down the door like the Kool-Aid guy at that point.
This whole scene, though, all I imagine is like the ending of Saw when they shut the door and you're stuck. Like, that's like what this is like.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. That's probably where she got the idea.
Do you want to play a game?
No, I want to eat.
No.
I want out of this locker.
I don't.
I want out of here right now.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Well, we just told the horrific story of a guy who got locked in a storage unit in North Carolina by his girlfriend. They got in some kind of fight, and they were hoarders, so he went in this storage unit that was barely had to crawl through the stuff. She asked for something in the back of the storage unit. Let that be a lesson. Don't go to the back of the storage unit when you just get in an argument with your girlfriend, because she locked him in and said, that's what you get. He was in there for 4 days. He couldn't find his phone for 4 days. Once he got in there, maybe crawling over, it fell out of his pocket. It was pitch black. And we had a lot of questions about that. Like maybe nobody called him or anything. But on the text line, what do we got, Case?
Well, I talked about how because he went with no food or water for a few days, I mentioned that I hate drinking water, don't like the way it tastes. I maybe have a glass of water once a week. Laura texted in and said, Case, I work for Ice Mountain. Drink water, bro. Trust me, you have to do that. He's been compromised. He works for Big Water. I can't trust anybody that works for Ice Mountain telling me to drink Ice Mountain. I will not fall for that propaganda.
But maybe you should drink some water today somewhere then.
A little bit.
We'll see.
Try a week you haven't had water.
Not in 6 days, no.
Good Lord.
Water it doesn't have any pizzazz. I'm a pizzazzy guy. I need my drinks to match my
I would
energy.
argue that you're not a pizzazzy guy.
That hurt my feelings.
But on point. Also,
Sorry.
you know what has pizzazz? Hydration. Your body is dying, wanting
like
water.
luxurious skin that has water in it.
A lot of benefits. I know you like Mountain Dew, but hey, try some water.
There's water in that.
Kenzie, what do you got on the text line?
No, so 630 texted in and said, I would have found my phone by the end of the night. I have over 18 alarms set.
No kidding. The phone's making all these sounds all the time, you know? You should be able to find your phone.
Tell me more about that, Grandpa. What about these phones and their sounds?
You know, one time, I don't know why I was this bored, but I changed every notification sound on my phone to something else.
Yeah.
Boy, that caused trauma. Because you're so used to whatever ring sound you have or whatever. What's a text alert? What's a news alert? What's whatever.
It's like Pavlov's dog. We've been trained for these sounds.
I was shaking. And I couldn't remember how to go back to all the other sounds. It was like a nightmare. Relating to that, 708 checked in and said, maybe he had a Nokia phone. You know, I don't know. I could have found it if that was going off.
Absolutely.
Brian thinks he's talented because he could have found that. He's like, well, I would have been able to find a constantly ringing item.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and Lauren's on her way in to take you through a spring-like day. 60 degrees, windy out there, sunny, but nice. Remember, tomorrow morning, 8 to 10, we have our throwbacks of the week, the funniest moments of the week, in case you go to the podcast in a second. So, Case, what's your first takeaway from our listeners?
Takeaway from Stephanie and Bradley, first-time texter. Welcome to the party, Stephanie.
Love it.
Very practical advice on her takeaway. Go empty the storage unit.
Oh, jeez. Wow, what a pickup from today.
Yeah, well said.
Empty the storage unit. Kenzie, what do you got?
Frank's takeaway, Case loves that Monster D. It's his favorite one.
You want to hit the rap horns, too?
Oh,
Favorite one. Mine's gonna be the shirt. Love it.
And finally, takeaway from 708. Dave checked in. Takeaway. Look, it's Venus. Oh, no, it's just a plane. Son of a bitch.
Jonas, son of a bitch.
All right. Case, what's on the podcast?
Well, this morning we learned that it is worse to be friends with a litterer than a murderer. That is on the Brian and Kenzie podcast. Also, Kenzie was forced to apologize to the short kings of America this morning. You can hear her statement on the 6 a.m. podcast this morning. And, of course, it is Friday. My movie review this week was Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and that will be hitting your podcast feed here in just a few seconds.
Miss a moment, miss a lot. You can get the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts, like Spotify, Apple, Q101 app, smart speaker, anywhere. It's there for you.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.